giving you a voice,
making it loud our own way.
Welcome to the fun.
Now, it's the time for what you've all been waiting for, FTC Top 25. We've got 25 awesome teams that have played Ultimate Goal. To be eligible, teams had to have an uncensored match video of their robot playing Ultimate Goal, regardless of whether it was a remote or traditional event. With that being said, Peter, take it away with number 25.
Okay, starting us off is team 14393, Packer Robotics from Norman Park, Georgia. Of note with this robot is their mechanism for delivering the wobble goals in auto, which is separate from their actual wobble goal arm. I like the compact design of their robot, which allows the rings a quick and easy way into their shooter. And a uniquity in their shooter is the fact that they have a curved rail on the pass-through type design, which is something I don't think I've seen too much of. And I'm curious to see where their season goes from here, and I think they could be a potential sleeper in the South.
Awesome. In the number 24 spot, we've got Team 4653, the Irrational Doorkeepers from Greensboro, North Carolina. This team has a very unique robot because it's focused on auto and endgame. I've seen a lot of teams that are in the top 25 did a lot of teleop focus, but they specifically did auto and endgame. They use a claw to pick up rings, which isn't the fastest, but it's able to effectively pick them up. And they shoot them perpendicularly to their drivetrain, which is something I haven't seen before. They were able to successfully get a wobble goal in auto, which is also a great thing that this team has done. Definitely not one of the most competitive teams, but also a really cool robot, and I'm glad they could make it into the top 25.
Okay. The 23rd is the first of a few Barker robots we'll be seeing tonight, and it's 11144 Barker Bluebacks from Hornsby, Australia. Complete with a fast-firing shooter, an effective intake, and a simple, robust design, this team did well at the Australia Remote Championship, with their high score being 187 points. They got between 8 to 14 rings in the high one teleop, and almost always knocked down all 3 power shots.
Yeah, definitely. Barker's teams have come out super strong this year. And like in the past, they've definitely had solid robots, but I think there was another team that was a powerhouse in Australia. Forget the names. I think it was like Bearded Pineapples or something. But Barker with their FTC teams this year has been really crazy. And just watching this robot, it's got a super accurate shooter. And a lot of their robots are almost all 3D printed, which I found to be also really cool. Want to move on to the next one, Peter?
Yes. Okay. So in 22nd place is 18255 Stealth Robotics from Algonquin, Illinois. Ranking second in the All-State Illinois meet, this rookie team utilizes a pass-through shooter with a Go Builder drive base. Blending Go Builder and custom together well, this compact and neat packaging allows the robot to quickly send rings into their fairly consistent shooter mechanism. I'm interested to see how this team evolves later in the season, and I see them as being a potentially strong team in the emerging region of Illinois.
Awesome. In the 21st spot, we've got Team 14525, the TERRABATS from San Jose, California. And they have a really accurate robot, and they're able to hit high goal shots very consistently. I think in this match that we're about to see, they don't miss a single high goal shot, which was crazy. I was impressed by their autonomous motions and how smooth they are, which you can see right now on screen. Very smooth curves and splines. And in the match video, it does look like the human player holds on to rings during teleop, which could be ruled as illegal. And they could speed up their wobble goal mechanism to score both during endgame, since they were only able to score one. But overall, they've got a robot with a lot of potential, and I think it could definitely be a strong contender in California. You'll notice a lot of teams on the list are from Northern California, and so I'm glad to see that region starting to pick up. I know it was an FRC dominant region previously, but now it seems like a lot of top FTC teams are coming out of there.
Yeah, and I think that's partially just the fact that they've had competitions. There are some places who haven't yet had a single competition.
Yep. All right, Brooks, next one.
All right. The 20th spot goes to team 14470 Cascade Robotics from Atlanta, Georgia. Wow. From day one, I would have never expected a claw intake to work as well as it did for this team. 210 points with this team's claw intake is just insane. Like, it's a claw intake. It's crazy. but everything on the road seems to be well implemented too, with a nice custom drivetrain and a same-side shooter. To go along with this is a fast wobble goal and a high-level auto. I was just like, whoa, when I saw this video, because it's just so unique, but it just works so well.
Yeah, I think like that might work less well when there are in-person competitions, if there are in-person competitions.
True.
In 19th is Team 1147, Screw It, from Taiwan. The team utilizes a sweeper-style intake with a bottom roller, collecting the rings into a servo-powered indexer. The robot featured in a video is noted as just being a prototype, but nonetheless, it's still very impressive, scoring into the high goal, as well as scoring 2 power shots and placing the wobble goal outside. Also of note is their usage of Matrix, a build system that we don't see too much over here in the States, but was fairly popular internationally.
I just want to say, by the way, I'm pretty sure that this is also the name of their FRC team, or one of them, because at the Taiwan event, I'm pretty sure there was a team called Screw It as well. So either it's a very popular name in Asia or a translation, or it's the same one. So quite interesting.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was the same team. Yeah.
All right. The second highest ranked Barker team at number 18 is Barker Purplebacks. This robot had a lot of design decisions that I wouldn't think would work initially, but they nailed many aspects of their design. To start off, they had a compliant wheel shooter and a small intake collection area. But it seems that with lots of drive practice and tweaking, the robot was ranked second best in Australia. Their highest score was 228, with their lowest match being 189. The consistency was great, and with more time, I feel that they will improve greatly.
Yeah, again, amazing job from Barker team. And when watching this robot, it almost feels effortless watching those rings fly in, right? Like there's just something different about a compliant wheel intake. Not the first decision that I would have made if building a robot, but it just looks so cool. And they also have a super fast shooting rate. Just watching this video right now, they had 3 rings in the air at the same time, not in the goals, which is pretty cool. All right, want to head on to the next team?
Yes. So in 17th is NSET CUTTLEFISH from Saratoga, California. With their already advanced autonomous team, which attempts to score 3 power shots, both wobble goals and intake, and shoot the starter stack, the Cuttlefish look like they could school any competition. Their intake, packed to the brim with a whole lot of belts, seems effective at quickly delivering rings to their shooter. I can tell this robot had a lot of careful design choices put into it, and I look forward to seeing where they go from here.
Cool. Yeah, I know that team from one of my friends was on the FRC team. They have an FRC team in Northern California, I think. So definitely a feeder team, and looks like they're doing pretty well. Just outside of our top 15, this one came as a shock to me that it was ranked so lowly, was Team 8375, Vulcan Robotics from San Mateo, California. They've come a long way from the robot in 3 days, and they have a very sophisticated intake and shooter. I was quite surprised to see that they weren't ranked higher. The intake is able to pick up rings on the same side that they shoot out, and they're one of the most accurate shooters I've seen. They've also got a nice 2 wobble goal auto, but can't hit power shots in auto. I remember in Rescue, Vulcan Robotics was insane, and that was my first year. So definitely one of the teams that I've always looked up to. And I really like their entire path of how they pull the rings in from one side. It goes all the way around the robot to the top, where then they can shoot it from. Definitely a cool robot.
Mm-hmm. Taking number 15th is 13088 Cyber Saints from Kappa, Hawaii. Playing now is a test match in which they score 226 points. Even though their rings have no spin, they are able to shoot into the high goal well, but might want to be careful of RG8 with shots that fast. They have some other great aspects to their bot as well, such as a full auto with shooting the starter stack and a drop-down intake. They did have difficulty hitting the power shot in this match, but they were able to score both of them too. All around, a pretty great robot.
Yeah, this is the first time I think we've seen a Hawaii team on the top 25, which is kind of cool. I know they've always had a region down there, but it hasn't been the strongest, so hopefully we'll see more teams coming from there. Peter?
All right, moving on to 14th is Team 1139, the Innovators from Fremont, California. This robot utilizes a lot of Gilbilda, while also being absolutely unique and innovative in its own right. More than just the snazzy reveal, the robot is plenty potent with an autonomous, with the displayed capability to knock down all 3 power shots in auto and score both wobble goals. Their robot might be a good case for the rule to keep it simple, and I'm interested to see what they innovate next.
Really cool. Taking the number 13 spot is Team 9784 Dry Ice Robotics from Belmont, California. Dry Ice has a super unique wobble goal mechanism that allows them to grab the wobble goal from anywhere along the width of their robot. This gives them a double wobble goal auto and consistently getting the wobble goals during endgame. They can also get 3 power shots in auto and are overall a solid robot. I think it was kind of funny reading this. I thought that it was 9794, but it was just a typo, but we hadn't competed, so I was confused. But I'm glad to see this team go well. I know the last time they were really competitive was in Relic Recovery, so I'm glad to see them have a resurgence.
Yeah. In 12th is Team 15005 Technophobia from East Peoria, Illinois. I love so much about this robot. To start out, their drivetrain is beautiful with very nice pocketing. You can also see an excellent conveyor system, a unique drop-down intake using compliant paddle wheels. Everything is designed very simple, but clearly optimized very far. They score between 11 to 15 rings in the high goal every match, and always score both wobble goals in the drop zone.
Yeah, overall, such a clean robot. Like, you can see their custom drive plating with the pocketing. They do a really good job with that. And then they just have an overall clean robot. I love also the way they drive. A lot of teams with intakes that are on the opposite side of their shooter stop the rings in front of their robot when they're rolling out of the chute, but they let them go all the way to the back. So I really like how they're using their intake to their advantage, so they don't have to turn around as much by letting the rings go behind them.
All right, rating their way to just outside the top 10 is 7129, the Robo Raiders from Lebanon, Illinois. The robot is most notable for its 2-wheel shooter. I believe might be the very first on this list. I also think their wobble goal arm is incredibly neat and well packaged. A good solution for a problem my team has had. Their autonomous has plenty of room to scratch, just scoring a single wobble goal. Their intake also has some room for improvement, occasionally jamming up and spilling a ring. But what I'm having my eye on is if they will stick with their 2-wheel shooter, an outlier within the top teams.
Yeah, from watching the Robo Raiders for years now, they always are a really good team at iterating. And yes, they usually don't do rebuilds. They do them occasionally, but they're really good at just building upon what they have and making it better and better and better until it reaches close to perfection at Worlds. And so, yes, even though it isn't perfect right now, and they're using compliant wheel shooter with a dual wheel flywheel, so their rings aren't spinning, causing it to be a little less accurate. I think overall they're going to build up on what they have and continue getting better as the season progresses.
Thanks for watching. If you want more fun content, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.